share. Let's share, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
That's how I wanna be. I wanna wake up with a song in my heart. I wanna wake up with a song in my heart and the joy in my eyes. I wanna wake up feeling beautiful. I wanna wake up, you and me are the perfect match that could ever be. Wake up feeling beautiful. I wanna wake up feeling beautiful with you. I wanna wake up knowing you are mine. I wanna wake up telling you I'm mine and I am yours forevermore. I wanna wake.
Well, good morning. Do you wake up? Do you want to wake up feeling beautiful? Well, if you do, then you're in the right spot because I'm feeling beautiful too. It is a pleasure to see any and all of you here. Let's come on into the room. Let's get this chat going. We've got a wonderful guest with us this morning, and he's as excited as I am to see you, to communicate with you, to share with you what he's doing, who he is, and where he's at in his life. And I think you're going to just enjoy today's conversation. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It is really great to see you all here. As you know, Coffee Break Live is an active conversation where we get to meet some of our community leaders and people who are changing the world through all kind of different mediums, and just having a great opportunity to kind of take all that in and say, we know these people, that these people aren't just here, but they're present in our lives doing things that we, tap and agree to. So tap and agree with me this morning. I'm looking forward to having many conversations, and that means including seeing you and what you've got to say. As usual, we have JJ in the room. She comes in bright and early, fresh with me. It's like, JJ, I need to bring you in the room and do one of your sky views before we get started too. So let's work that out. You ready for that? I'm ready for some sky views and a little talk about the weather, because that's like number one on the plate everywhere right now. Everywhere you go to today, somebody's talking about the weather. The weather, the weather, the weather. Man, have you been hearing about what's going on over in Gary? What happened in Alaska? Wait a minute, in Hawaii. Man, I mean, so many places around the world are being just knocked down and just getting big clobbers of really thrashing, devastating weather situations, from tornadoes, hurricanes, to nonstop pouring rain. People being without power and food and the resources that they need. I mean, I can go on and on, but I just want you to know, yes, it is crazy, JJ. It's really crazy. So next Friday, we're going to have you in the room too. We're going to put you up and we're going to present some of your work before we get started, just so I can say I've got the weather view from a sister who's taken the time. JJ, you are really knocking it out with your sky views. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you and I are tapping and agreeing to have you come and talk a little bit about the scenes that you see and how that's affected what you do and why you started doing this, okay? But today we're going to get back. We're going to talk about the young man that's in the room with us today, and we're going to make sure that Rodney Gibson gets his flowers today. You all ready for that? Because I am so ready. Now, how are you all feeling? Is everybody good everywhere in the world? How are you all feeling? You are waking up? Have you all had to support people who are really suffering from weather situations? What is going on? So give me a little feed. And as you come in, don't forget, if you have not, or if you know someone who should, make sure they subscribe. Have them stop and subscribe and like Coffee Break Live with Senabella, because we want to make sure that everybody gets to meet all of the people that are here, and that's including you. If they meet me, then they've met you. So Having said that, and because time goes so quickly, we've got a wonderful, wonderful guest in the room today. He's a dear friend of mine, actually. This isn't just about people who are coming here and I do or don't know them, but these sometimes I know these people, and we've had associations in work, and or I've been to their backyard barbecues, or we run into each other constantly and know each other's families. And in this case, this gentleman, he and I have done music together. We've known each other for a good long time. He's well loved and well established in the music community. People really think highly of him. And so when you say Rodney Gibson, people go, oh yeah. So we know him as a reliable source for music. We know him as a reliable source for music, someone who's always upbeat, ready to get in the room, do the work. And he's so much more than that. And in the music community, you'll find that people oftentimes are doing a whole lot more than just music. And in this case, Rodney Gibson, he now entitles himself as an entrepreneur, as we all do. And he does a lot of things. So some of the things we're going to discuss today, like his work in IT as a desktop supporter for a publishing company. How about that? He does IT support for Chase Bank's comp upgrades in the teller systems. How about that? And he's also the founder of Audible Edge Music Group. He's founded a whiskey brand called Father's Reserve, and he does art and music in places such as Blacks and Green in the Green Living Room on the 64th and Cottage Grove right here in Chicago. So there's so much to get into with him, and I want to inspire you and impress you to stay put, and let's get going as I bring to the screen Rodney Gibson. Good morning, Rodney.
Good morning, Senabella.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm busy, but I'm well. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it's exciting. Yes, it's good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's good, huh? Oh, we were chatting just before, so he's more laid back now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yes,
I'm like to the laid back Rodney. So we're gonna go ahead and get all that in. So welcome into the room. Thank you so much for coming in. You know, we've talked about it for a while. You're coming on to Coffee Break and sharing some of the things that you've been inspired by that now inspire others. There's so much to really just unpack here. So let's get started. Like, you started in IT. How long did you do IT before you actually start transitioning and or putting your work together? Because I've always known you as a musician, so we oftentimes don't even know what each other does because we're so engrossed in each other's work as musicians. Always saying, you got your charts, you know, oh, you don't have that chart. Do you know what key you do this in? I mean, the conversations that people in the business have.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's been a dual career for a long period of time. It really has been dual. And for one thing, before I even get into that, I want to talk about you for a little bit, Senabella. You're such a rare person. You know, people will celebrate what you do for one thing, but everything that I've been involved with, you just tap in and just kind of encourage. So I just want to thank you. That's who Senabella is, just in case you didn't know. But
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I have always loved music and science and tech since I was 5-6 years old. We had encyclopedias. I was always listening to music, trying to play music, banging on my granddad's piano. But at the same time, I'm tearing my toys apart and I'm flipping polarities. So I've been doing both things since I was like 5-6 years old. You know, just listening to music. I didn't start playing the music until 11, but I always liked it. And if I heard music, I didn't know what jazz was, but if I heard certain chords, even before I started playing, I said, what is that? I was like, so this has been going on. But I would say that before I got married and moved to Chicago in the early 90s, this is very important for me to tell the story. I discovered Greystone Jazz Museum downtown Detroit. I'm from Detroit.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I am from Detroit.
Detroit.
Yes, Detroit, right? So I started, they had a lot of computer. This is in the DOS days. They had a lot of computer problems. So they kind of brought me in as their tech. And I started defragging the hard drives and all this good stuff, right? And then I stopped charging them because I can't charge them for this. For that. I said, I love this museum.
Uh-huh.
And so at the time, the executive director was Tony Costoni, who's from Chicago. Tony is she passed away a few years ago, but
Tony Costoni is a sister, is a
yes,
woman.
she is. Yes, she is, and she curated a lot of the Black-owned McDonald's. She curated DeSable, and so she was running that museum. I never had any nonprofit experience.
Mm-hmm.
That lady hired me. She was like my big sister, my boss, my mentor. She's the one who really got me. Yeah, and I'll tell you the story how this whole IT.
But we all need to have a mentor.
Oh my goodness.
We need mentors. It's one of the groundwork. It's part of the groundwork. It gives us our foundation to have somebody who guides us as we come into this business, especially music, because it's a loose volume of things that go on. You know, it's loose, it's loud, it's all over.
Yes.
And you try to figure out where you fit in. And then you're coming in through someone who has a museum, you said?
Well, she was the executive director of Greystone Jazz Museum. I had no nonprofit experience at all. And she hired me as her executive director. And she would tell stories. She knew everybody. She knew a guy in DC who had a Next computer, a Mac and Windows, and had them all networked. I never got a chance to meet, but just her telling me that. And once I got that vision in my head, I kept going until I figured that stuff out. And at home, I had a Unix computer and all this kind of stuff. But I would say she planted the seed. It was just a way. I'm really focused on music. Technology was just a means to an end for me at that time. But she just opened up, and then we worked with Suitcase Foundation. We brought in Los Muñequitos Montadas as a fundraiser, and I saw that come. So I learned how to book and market, how to work with a board, and volunteers. We worked with the Cuban. So it was such a rich, that one job really set me up before I came to Chicago. She taught me so many things, so anyway, that's how but both my music and technology just kept continuing to evolve. And what I liked about having those two careers is that I can balance. The ebb and flow. I don't think I've ever want to just depend on music.
Why is that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've got a Black-owned premier elevator company. I'm gonna shout them out because not only did they pay my invoice last fall, but they also.
You definitely need to shout out anybody that's paying their bills.
Listen, they wrote me. Kenny Mason wrote me a $300 sponsorship check after he paid my invoice for the event that Miranda Sprague and I did, and they're like family. But
that is so beautiful.
I'm supporting them, so that. And I told the office manager when I was in there working on the project, I like the difference. I like my music. I like the entertainment folks, but it's not just the money. But I like the different environments that I work in. It's just a nice balance.
And I just want to say that one of the things that I enjoy today when I'm with our families that are in music is to learn what they do outside of music, right? There's so much more lively conversation and they light up as they talk about it. Like one of the things I enjoy about James Perkins sax, he's a magnificent saxist, one of our best in Chicago, is that he's in IT and he's also he's doing all kind of work just behind the scenes in production and so forth. This man is amazing. And I think that when we stop and think of musicians, we really do need to open it up and see the real fruitful lives that musicians have, which is something that happened with people like, why are you doing this, Senabella? You're the Bronzeville diva. And I'm like, because I like to meet and talk about a variety of things. And what better way than to feed my passion of learning and growing with people than to have Coffee Break Live. So here you are, you come to Chicago, and when you get in, are you like right away, like into the scene, what happens as you get here? And let me just say real quick, I want to just say, good morning, Afuseni Dramet. Okay, I'm not sure where that is from, but I love that name. Good morning. Thank you for coming in to Coffee Break Live.
So I must say, Senabella, you know, got married in '93. Me and my wife just kind of hung out that year. You know, I went to the music stores to kind of hung out, but we went to like reggae shows. We just kind of hung out that first year. And it's like, I'll get into music. But then I ended up getting hired as a full-time desktop publisher for Kinko's downtown. This was in '94.
Wow.
Yes, and I got to talk about this. So, this is right on Wells. This is right in that creative area, and I'm just meeting so many good people. I had a great boss. We're still friends now. He's in Brazil. He still gives me marketing support. I can call him. He got me, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm gonna tell you one crazy thing is when I got there, you know, some of the black employees, they tapped right in and said, oh, hey, bruh, we do volunteer work here. Mm-hmm. You know, so they were part of NSBE, National Association of Black Educators. Man, we got to get these shorties, get their certification, bro. So come on, let's go. This is what we do. And that just opened up the whole community thing for me because I was trying to chill out. But no, brother, we volunteer here. We put work in, and it was just beautiful. And then I met Mark Stampley. That while working there, I saw he had a poster for a gig, and I said I shouldn't say anything, but I hollered at him, and we just worked. So everything was flourishing. So I would say '94. I never had to really look for music or tech work. People would just come and hire me. The gigs were coming, recruiters were coming, so it was just a ball.
Well, you know, the thing I know about you, Rodney, is that you have such a gregarious personality. You know, when you're present, you're fully open and available to people, and you're very kind and generous and thoughtful through the process. So I'm pretty sure that whatever company acquired your talent and your service, that they were quite pleased with you. I know that I remember one of the gigs we did for Amazon. That was a great gig because of you, you know. Yeah, it was a great gig because you're patient and everything, you know. And then our executive director, who produces the show, she said, I probably saw you at Kinko's during that time. We were publishing a newspaper in 1994, often composing at the Kinko on Wells Street.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. That was the spot. I still have friends and relationships from who I work with and people who I met there. It was, you know, wow.
And Maurice is in the room. He wants to say good morning to you.
Good morning, Maurice.
Yeah, that's our nephew, right?
Wow. Yes.
Yes, and this is the beautiful thing about having the careers, a duality of careers, because it allows you to interface with so many people and do so many things. But you didn't just do that. You kept pushing and going forward with so many different types of initiatives. I mean, if you weren't on the scene playing, and if you weren't doing tech, you were already putting together ideas around what else it is that I have an interest in. So you're feeding all your passions. And I think that that's a part of what makes things beautiful. Good morning, Dolores Ringo. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody's in the room, want to talk to you and say good morning. So
good morning.
Sure. Yeah. And JJ says it was meant for you, Mr. Gibson. It was meant for you, you know? And so having said all that, let's get right into it, because there is a lot going on still to this day with what you're doing in music. And I think Audible Edge Music and the Father's Whiskey, you know, brand.
Father's Reserve. Yeah, Father's Reserve.
Yeah. I remember when you said, I'm going to be doing whiskey and art and music. I'm like, whiskey, art, and music? Who's your sponsor in whiskey? You said, me. Me. So you're like, who does that? I don't meet many people who say that they're now, making the cocktails.
And that's, I gotta share. this is what we collaboration and team building is everything, because I was playing in this in the western suburbs with my friend Regina Karma at Meze Mediterranean, and they just spoil us. We get there, I got my meals, I get my old fashioned, and so one time the bartender made an old fashioned with rye, and I said, "What is it?" I had no intentions of ever starting a whiskey brand, but I said, "What is this rye?" And that's where it kicked off, because of playing music and hanging out with my friend Regina, doing music. And I started investigating, how do I make rye myself? And then I mentioned I was serving on the board of a nonprofit board, the Healing Academy. And we had a board potluck. I got there, I was the first one to get there. And so I'm going to just call her out, Lena Beard. Rodney, would you like some of this Jack Daniels? I said, yeah, I'll try some. And she is part of a group called Women Who Whiskey. Whiskey is a verb.
Women
Who Whiskey.
Are
And
they
they go to the distilleries, and they do the whole tour. They have custom bottles made for them. And so when she found out I was doing this thing, matter of fact, she's a great event coordinator and a host. So I hired her as my host consultant, and her and Miranda conspired together, because I was just going to put it in a brown bag, sneak out the back door, and just pull it up for people like in those days, right?
Really?
They were not having it. See, it's important to tell you and give even Miranda, Sprague, and Lena Beard their flowers, because they were not going to allow me half step on that.
Yes, I love that.
She said, Rodney, you need a brand name, you need a label, we're going to do a tasting thing. They went in. If it wasn't for those two, there wouldn't be a Father's Reserve. And so when it came up with
that, I just want you to know, folks, I'm not lacking in wanting or asking for him to provide me with some kind of pictures or something to play, but I would have loved to have shown your whiskey brand and a few of those things that you're sharing with us to our audience. But you're gonna have to come back and bring all that in.
If I can come back, I will have all the goods. But so what happened? Lena asked me what my backstory was, and I think about it. I didn't start drinking like brown liquor or until I was in my 40s. I was a beer and wine guy. That was me. And I was playing at Epitome in
oh wow.
Well, what's my name? Vince Bass. Vince Bass was promoting.
Yeah.
And he was working with B&B Liquor, and we had the girls. They would be serving that brandy. That's when I started. I was not even interested in that stuff. So I thought about it, and growing up in Detroit, we had a really tight-knit block. When we would go out to sports with our dads, all the dads on the block, some weren't fathers, they were just men in the block, or we go fishing. When we come back and they turn us loose after whatever it was, a baseball game or fishing, they would go get that whiskey. And it was all, whatever the brand was, it would be the top. It would be the top of the brand. And so that's why I called it Father's Reserve. And I'm my father and those dads on my block.
Right. I love that.
So that I had to tell that story about the
well,
people.
when I hear the name Father's Reserve, if I were to drink whiskey, which I don't, but if I were to, I would want something that's rich, that sounds as historical, has essence. And so what have been some of the responses to people to your whiskey brand when they taste it? What have they said?
So we're not launched yet. We're still kind of putting things together. But what?
So when you had your entrepreneur piece at Blacks and Green, I'm just using that as a reference because you've done it. The whiskey art and the jazz. There was no whiskey available. That's what you're saying.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was.
So what did they say? What
it was really infused. So it was really from a retail, available product. And what I does, I used a neutral base whiskey. Mm-hmm. I used essence of rye, and I work with 1,000 oak barrels. Mm-hmm. I have 750 liter oak barrel. So, it's totally legal because I'm using an existing product, and let it age for 30 days. But that small barrel, see, here's the science. Here's the rocket science. The small barrel accelerates the aging process.
Mm.
And you get the oak flavor. So most of the people who tried the whiskey are not whiskey drinkers. But the response I got was, I usually don't drink whiskey, but I like that.
Mm.
And yeah.
So you usually don't drink whiskey, but
I like that. And it was an infused. That's because it really wasn't whiskey. It was it was infused. It was an infused beverage. And so now we want to get.
I want you to answer the question. You're telling me more about the whiskey.
Okay.
But when people tried your whiskey, what did they think? What did they say?
Oh,
or another way. What happened?
Oh, well, we have a limited, but they liked it. They can taste the vanilla and the slight spices in it.
Okay.
It didn't knock them out like a whiskey would, but it gave that taste. That's exactly.
And I guess because it was fresh out the stock too, right? Like it was coming straight from the barrel.
Right. And not only that.
That's a whole other experience. It's not the same as it being poured from a bottle.
And again, it was kind of we use a neutral, almost vodka-like base. Mm. We use what we call essence of whiskey. And
so when somebody gets a shot of it, they really getting a shot, huh?
We get a shot, but it's not as strong. It's not as strong as a whiskey, but it gives you that taste. Mm. And so, yeah, and that's most people say it didn't knock them out, knock them upside their head.
So were people asking for how they could get more of it and all of that? And where have you come to since then? I'm going to go to you answer this.
Well, this is wonderful. Just another one of my Polsky members, Polsky Exchange members, serves on the board of a nonprofit arts. She invited me to the open house, and she knew about my whiskey story. And I went over to hug her to thank her for inviting me, and she said, "Rodney, I need you to go meet this one other board member. He comes from the whiskey industry, from the spirits industry." 5-10 minute conversation. That guy got me set up. Where to go? Where to get it done? I have my whole budget and everything set to go. But it was trial and error. I was researching. How do I do this without trying to become a distillery and getting all that license? And I said, I got to do this in a way that I can handle. So I'm set. As soon as I have the money set aside, it's go time. And we're doing small batch as you recommended. So there you go.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time, and I think I know something all the time.
You
always know something that's worthwhile. But I'm glad to know that something.
You gave me the hookup because when you mentioned small batch, that's how I started doing my budgeting and my planning. Small batch. We're doing Midwest. We ain't trying to do everything. We just gonna do a little bit. It makes a difference. So one
of the things that I want to say with regard to speaking or advising anyone as it relates to business is one of the things I've learned. The hardest lesson is don't try to go whole hog into everything you do. You've got to take it a step at a time.
Yes.
You have big plans, but you've got to realize the big plans are going to cost you more than just money. It's going to cost you time, and it'll cost you your reputation. So you got to take your time, build your business in a way that you want to see it later. You want to see Father's Reserve happen from now on. So how do you get that to happen? And just with Bronzeville Diva, it's a 30-year-old brand, and it's been going on for such a long time. It takes time to build a brand. And once you build that brand and it becomes established, it's the ID that have people see of you. So when we walk into any store, any place, and we say, I'm used to going into this here place, the female solution, when they think female solution, they're thinking Naima Latif, right? And so you have to have something that takes time to brew and to become greatly flavored. Let's take a break. And while we're on break, I want to encourage everyone to subscribe to Coffee Break Live with Senabella, the female solution. Like and follow not only myself, but Rodney Gibson. And you can catch his information. I'm going to make sure we put his information up so that you'll know how to find him. So Rodney, get ready to put that in for us, okay?
Okay.
Sounds good. We're going to come right back. I think it's important you know a few things. But today we're going to take a little twist and turn. We're going to come right back. We're going to just be a minute out. I don't want you to do anything more than just think about all the questions you might have for Rodney and to subscribe to Coffee Break Live right here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tell us what you think. Follow us. Be right back.
Have you seen all the solar farms popping up everywhere? You know, the big fields with the solar panels. There's one in our community. They produce electricity using the clean energy of the sun to send to the power grid to reduce our energy costs. Because not everybody can get solar panels put on their roof the way I have, but everybody can enroll for free to share the energy produced by the solar farms. That's why they were built. You know you're supposed to be getting a 10 to 20% savings on your bill for that, right? Illinois has a goal to transition by 2050 to 100% clean energy. So everybody needs to be connected. People in other communities are already getting their savings. So I'll be by to see you because they want to make sure you get your savings as well. It just takes a few minutes. I'm Naima Latif. Call me if you have any questions. 312-849-3456.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page, as we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force. Our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Senabella here with Coffee Break Live, and I am very, very happy to share with you today my guest, Rodney Gibson, entrepreneur, IT specialist, as well as a founder of Audible Edge Music Group. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, and we're also going to continue in our conversation about his whiskey brand, Father's Reserve. So if you're here, welcome back. Rodney's here. Let's ask some questions. If you have any, we're happy to take them, and we will get started again. Come on now, Rodney. You are a busy man.
I'm busy, but I'm having so much fun. As my late mother-in-law, Flossie, would say, having more fun than the law allowed. That's a whole lot of fun. So I decided to, so we can get the brand moving, instead of getting so caught up into the liquor, the actually whiskey, I decided to pursue making a non-alcoholic rye whiskey. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm part of Southside Community Federal Credit Union. We have a business networking group called Ubuntu, and our good friend who coordinates that, Christy Kingsley, reached out to me about 3 weeks ago and said, Rodney, how is the non-alcoholic version going? Because there's something going on the 22nd, and the commissioner of the South Suburbs will be there. Can you have something for us? So that's what we're cooking in the kitchen. So that's how I'm so glad you asked and gave me this opportunity. So we'll be preparing our first recipe. It won't be perfect, but we're going to rise to the occasion. My wife will be, so we'll be at what is the name of that? I'll figure it out. It's a book. It's a bookstore, and we'll be there tomorrow. It's a limited capacity, but I'll give you further information. But anyways,
back to you before we get out of here. We still got a few minutes for you to remember that.
But the thing is, it gave me an opportunity and it pushed me, because I was kind of lollygagging about, we're gonna do it. I'll talk to my wife. But this gave me something. I went and got my berries and all the stuff I need. And this is, I even told my wife, I said, let's rise to the occasion. This is an opportunity. It's not our final recipe. Let's go. So that's the story of that she remembered. She's, Rodney, how's that going? Can you be ready for the 22nd? I said, I sure can.
Wow, we're talking about a day away.
We're talking about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And where's that? Is that a private event or public?
That's going to be private. Yeah, that'll be a private event. But we're going to have some more opportunities for folks to come out and try this.
Well, JJ say non-alcoholic beverages, also known as mocktails, are really popular now. So
Yes,
you,
indeed. Yes.
yeah, a lot of people who don't drink moi would be interested in having that kind of beverage. Because we do act like we have a little drink, that we're like mocking like some kind of euphoria, but the truth is that it's just a really good opportunity to taste something that's naturally based in fruits and what have you. Am I correct?
That's correct. And another trend is a lot of times people will blend the non-alcoholic with the alcoholic, in various proportions. So, right, that's another trend. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I'm learning. But this was an easy way to enter the market
Mm-hmm.
as we, get the funding for the push, because that's very.
Well, I'm looking forward to the mocktails and the cocktails of it all, and maybe even collaborating with you and working on a music showcase with all that. We should get into that. Love to do all that.
Oh, I'd love to do that. I'm feeling that.
Let's talk about Audio Bledge. Is it Audio Bledge or Bleach?
Audible Edge. It's just kind of one word when you see the website.
I've been doing
Audible
this.
Edge.
Audible Edge. We've done this before. Look, folks, it's my fault. Let's get the brand right. Audible Edge.
Audible Edge Music.
Edge Music Group. Okay, Miranda, don't say nothing to me. We're gonna get Miranda, vocalist, powerhouse musician. I mean, we've got some wonderful people. Maurice should get in here and go on here. We've got some great people just who are visiting and coming in to support you and I here on Coffee Break this morning. But I want to talk about Audible Edge Music Group. What made you come up with that? What was the idea behind that, and how has that been going? Who are the players in your Audible Edge?
Oh my goodness. So mainly, I started the record label not to be some big label, but as a way to showcase my work. Yep, as a way to showcase my work. And a good friend of mine, Tony Baraka, went to high school with, was in marketing and branding down in Atlanta. And he said, well, what's the name of your company? It's got to be something without your last name. So I found this little game that helps you to come up with your name. And that's how I came up with that. But I put Audible Edge together, again, not to be like a big record label, but as a way to showcase my work, my composing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And really, it was to help me get production and mixing work. That's all it was for. Yeah. And then I said, but I left room to grow. I said, eventually I will bring other artists, but I wasn't going to rush into that. So that's exactly the way. So now,
but you didn't just bring in the arts. You brought in visual arts as well as music.
Well, the visual arts wasn't part of so much part of the brand, but it's part of our event strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So the art is part of our event strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually part of the brand.
Okay, that's interesting to say. So it's an event strategy, not brand, but that makes sense, because there are a lot of people, and I've known for seriously a very, very long time, my own son-in-law, my grandson, all of these people have been presenting art with music, and for a very long time. So it's not just trending, it's a really wonderful preoccupation through the music. And as we know, art is our first form of conversation. Writing and art are the first forms of communication, and so when we think about that, then we think about longevity, we think about a spiritual essence behind what we're doing, for a person to experience a great song and musicianship and have that art there. And now you've got like all these things stacked together with also spirits, so you like a shaman.
Is that what we call it? Oh, so me and my wife are writing this imaginary book called, is that what they calling it now? So that's going in that book.
Oh, I love that.
Is that what they calling it now? So
recipes and
Oh my goodness.
music and the the whole thing. So Maurice might be listening. He might write a little skit to it.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
my good. So
Right.
I must share this. So people know me as a pianist, but I'm originally a guitar player. And back in 2007, I was helping this guy sell these Brazilian guitars. I hated selling, but I loved it. So helping him sell those Brazilian guitars is what got me back. When those guitars showed up, I just could start composing all kind of music. So a lot of the peers that I was working with on the South Side, they weren't feeling me on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Who were feeling me? The visual artists. Adam Gashard and I, we did a silent auction for Kiwanis Club back in 2007. And I loved what he was doing. He loved my guitar playing. Adam, who's Andre Gashard's younger brother, Adam started inviting me to his house. He would do art parties. He loves his Moscato, he had all his hors d'oeuvres and things. And when I would go to those art parties, Adam would talk about what inspired for the colors, because I think this family's from New Orleans. He's not a trained artist, but he's music, art, visual, bright colors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the story part. But I would just take with me and my acoustic guitar, and I'm playing Caribbean, just me on guitar. I got people dancing. I got people dancing, right? And so his cousin Dana, who reminded me of Gwen Ifield, she would, like when I take a break, she would ask me, "So what about this music right here?" And so her asking me those questions just caused me to write more music. But what happened after doing that, those events with Adam, I started getting invited to different galleries. Big brother, Andre Gashard, found out what I was doing. He hired me and a sax player to open for a South African sculpture artist. It had been about 2009. So by me following what I wanted to do, don't lock me in on this piano thing. You don't know my story. That's when I got interested in music theory and composition. I'm a guitar player. I want to play. And so that's what the visual art, because the visual art artists I started following their business model. As a matter of fact, and I got to tell this part, me and my wife Fran went to one of Adam's art events. He had hors d'oeuvres. They had all this price, $500 paintings, $5,000 paintings. We went in to the event, and it was no pressure. Consume all of stuff, no pressure on buying anything. I said, I want to roll like that. Because we're just a musician. We hand the mouth, boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so let us know then, what is it like at your event? What is the movement like? What is the sound like? What are the people like? What has been the reaction to your events when you mix all of these things? You're a mixologist, so you've got all these things going on.
Vibes. And then I actually worked with, so I wanted to capture.
You said vibes, because
the vibes, and I'm gonna tell you. So I worked with a marketing. I had a couple marketing consultants putting this thing together. What does this look like? So when Miranda came along and Lena, I just basically took the consultant notes and then we put that in the jazz, art, and whiskey. And so we had the music. I had taken care of the open bar. I had the food. We had the whiskey tasting. That was 20 minutes. I had visual artists. I gave visual artists a space to sell their stuff. And then I had Dion Victoria, a Healing Academy, and her husband doing live painting. So the vibe, it was not just one thing. It was like people can go in that room. They can go check out the art and they can get to know each other. They go get a drink. They go get some food and the vibe. So I worked on that for a couple of years. And
well, you know what? I got your next event name: Mocktails, Cocktails, and Music.
That's it.
Yeah, bring them all into the room. Mocktails, Cocktails, Art, and Music. That's where you need to be next. Yeah.
And then I would say, so where the art comes in, even though Audible Edge doesn't create art, we do music.
Sure.
But I'm really committed to continue collaborating with visual artists because they just more. I hate to put it out there, lately, just chill every race of visual artists everywhere in the country. They chill.
Rodney, I have to interject. You're going on about it like art is one thing, but art is music.
Yeah,
Art is
it is.
music. Art is music.
Yeah.
Art is movies. Cinematic things. So
Yeah.
you can include any kind of
Yeah,
medium
that's true.
visual arts. You can bring Maurice in and have him do some of his spots. I'm just saying, I'm putting together his program for him, folks. This is how we work.
Okay. I see. I'm glad I came to the meeting.
Yours to have, right? Because this is what you're doing, and it's very seldom that we really talk about how we keep our underwear on, if you will, in this business. It's a hard business. It's not an easy business. It's full of relationship style work. And if you don't form the relationships, which in all business, if you don't have relationships, as you're speaking of, like with what you've done in IT, what you've done and how that transferred over into the music and into the whiskey brand, Father's Reserve, the relationships are what build and establish you in these here avenues of working. It's not different. Music isn't different from the people that go to the 9 to 5. Only our hours are different.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But I like the balance of the musicians, filmmakers. I just like the balance. But anyway, that's the vibe. Just having those different things in the room. And I think you came to one of my events when we had the crayon. So like I've been working with Catalyst.
Don't even play with me with that. The Catalyst Music.
The Catalyst Music Gallery. The first time we did that with the crayon, people came and listened to the DJ. We got those crayons, and I had all of the the music related coloring. People got in. It was.
I came to the second one, right?
You came to the second one.
I stayed for hours too. I had a great time. I said, I'm coloring. What the crap? I'm having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Kevin. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Just absolutely.
We do those on the monthly, so we do those once a month. And
talk about that a little bit. The Catalyst Music Gallery. You're there monthly, once a month.
We do that once a month.
And they have a Tuesday with Savoir Faire, right?
Yes, they do. And so Kevin and I knew each other because our daughters were in dance class together.
Mm-hmm.
Either dance or music, but we would just kick it while the girls were in class. So again, Miranda had this great idea to do something called Optimistic Voices. It was just a free community event.
I love it.
Last October, a couple people came to the event, asked me, did I know Kevin Boucham? After they saw our event, he said, Kevin needs programming. I went over and reconnected with my boy. We had coffee, and we took 2 or 3 months out, and I planned a January 31st concert.
Yes.
Sold the tickets. It was a nice vibe. At the end of that night, Senabella, Kevin had one question. He said, Rodney, I got one question. What are we doing next?
Right.
What are we doing next? And there you go.
Yeah. Well, I've had the pleasure of being at the Catalyst Music at the Catalyst Music Group gallery, right?
Music Gallery, yeah.
And it's an amazing location with beautiful vibes and awesome music and all kinds of visual appeal that will keep people just drawn in and comfortable. What's the address to that place? We got to get that too. We got to make sure we put that in. I have Rodney's information. I'm going to put it in so everybody can grab his information and you can find him. And we're just going to keep talking, but
yeah,
there's so much more. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions when I come back from this next break, and just want you to give me a response to it. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
A really quick break. We're going to give people a chance again to subscribe, to like, to follow, and to share. We're nothing without you. I'm going nowhere but right here. And I'm always going to be here for you, along with my wonderful guests, such as Rodney Gibson, founder of Audible Edge Music Group, Father's Reserve, IT expert. And Asada's in the room before we even walk to commercial. She said, hey, Rodney.
Hey, Asada.
Right. And so we'll be back in a second, and I'm going to come back with a few questions. You ready for that? That's what I want to know. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that?
What up, world? I want to welcome you to the conversations that we don't have, escaping Jezebel's web. I am your host, Kasyra Elvie, also known as Lady K. Here, this is a faith-led, healing-centered podcast where we talk about the conversations many women and men keep in silence. We talk about relationships, motherhood, fatherhood, faith, patterns, and personal growth. Here, we name the unhealthy cycles, speak truth without shame, and choose healing and freedom. These are the conversations we don't have until now. Let's go talk about it. Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
We are right back. How'd you like that?
That would Asada. I remember going to her first Soulful Chicago Book Fair. It was
Yes. We've got some iconic, really beautiful and motivational shows here on the Female Solution. And it's really an honor to be here on this network and to collaborate, work with, learn, and grow with and from these here wonderful women and men, especially, who are here doing some outstanding programming here. And I would just encourage people to look at the lineup when you come into the show and you see these here commercials. They're alive. They're every day. We have something going every day. And we want to make sure that you subscribe to the Female Solution. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on name a site. We're there. But if you subscribe, you'll always find us, okay? That's the Female Solution on Facebook. All right. So having said that, I said I'm coming back because I want to ask a couple of questions. I mean, one thing I don't think people are really ready for is really knowing, or they're aware of, how diverse musicians are. Right. And the diversity of a musician in order to cope, grow, and live within this space is really, really something that requires a lot of puzzle work, right?
yes.
So given that, and you've shared today all these different things that you've done, I figured, let's ask then, what's your favorite whiskey?
Ooh, I was trying. Ooh, Woodford Reserve. I'm liking that one.
What is it?
Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
And
why Woodford Reserve? What kind of whiskey? What it's a whiskey, right?
It's a whiskey, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Then what do
you like it? Because
let me tell you. So Maker's Mark, that's one I drink. Well, I don't drink a whole lot, but I would say, yeah. But when I'm going to buy some, and that's something that a lot of people like. So I would say Maker's Mark is one of my favorites.
So were they part of the inspiration behind what you did for Father's Reserve?
It was more rye. Oh, and I'm gonna tell you something else. When Naomi Davis first opened the Green Living Room, she would have events, and I forgot her bartender's name, but he would be serving so many different things. Mm-hmm. My wife actually, when I decided to go into this venture, she bought me a whole system of keeping track of different things. So I don't have that handy because there's
Your wife.
so many things. But I would say, I like Maker's Mark. Now the rye whiskey, I wasn't familiar with, so that's still a learning process.
Okay.
So that was.
I got a couple more questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite spot to hang out when you're chilling?
Man,
Okay.
You know what I'm gonna tell you? I'm a Polsky Exchange member, so I'm usually in Hyde Park. I'm usually, having a meeting with other entrepreneurs, and then I hang out at Capital One Cafe. That's kind of my two spots. I don't get out to many clubs or bars that much, unless I'm playing. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm either at Polsky Exchange meeting with other entrepreneurs, or at Capital One having meetings or just kicking it. So yeah.
Right. And the next question is, what's your favorite thing to do with your wife, and what's her whole name? Say her whole name.
Francine Harris Gibson. We travel. We love traveling. And I'm not so much of a cook, but just kind of being around when she's trying different experiments, different food experiences. And we like watching a lot of different series, different shows and things that come on cable programming. So we like movies, history, and actually some of the things that we do kind of intersect because of her. She's got Eat magazine about Black food. I think I might have told you about it. Mm-hmm. So even though I'm not doing that project with her, I'm always asking questions. So we like food, watching movies, traveling. Matter of fact, I'm going to the Cutting Edge Music Conference in New Orleans next week, and me and my wife and daughter actually been going to New Orleans since 2004 for vacation.
I love hearing that, family.
And then I got tapped into, the business side of it. So we guys like traveling, and we really like New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah. And so you said it, and I'm going to ask. So if you had to do it all over again, it could only be one thing. What would it be? It could be anything.
Music. If I had it all to do over again,
and you only could do one thing, what's the one thing you'd like to do?
I would say composing music.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so if I had to just composing music for orchestra, yeah, that would be it. Because I can express everything I want through that.
Well, we have a project that we're going to launch in late August. In September, October, and it's a music project. We're going to get our Christmas song out, and I'm excited to share that with the audience. That Rodney and I have worked on it last year. We got started late and said, hey, we're going to put it out there, and it's called It's a Holiday. It's time for a holiday. Look, I don't even know the song that I wrote. Right. But I want to say something here. Asada said it best. Rodney is such a great musician, more than many folks even know, I believe. But the truth is that, Asada, we all know that. There are us who are in the music community, and he's well sought out. And I think that another thing that people become unaware of is that in this community, you have to decide who you are, what you want to do, and how you want to do it, and feed the passions that you have inside you as well. Then the most important thing is maintaining your family structure, right?
Yes, indeed.
And, moving forward in life and having that sense of fulfillment. So I'm going to close out here because we're a few short seconds from ending our hour. And I want to leave you with an opportunity to say, share, or quote something that you think that you'd like to leave with our audience. So I'm going to put you on screen, let you have it for yourself, and you can let it rip. And I'll be right back to close out, folks. This is another Coffee Break Live.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's always a joy to work with Senabella. she's an encourager. And I tell you, a lot of things I'm doing with my business is because I knew her to be a musician. But then when I found out she's a media mogul and entrepreneur and marketing and admin, I brought a lot of that into my business. So you can find us at audibleedge.com. That's one word. You can find us on Instagram at Audible Edge. And then we have a new artist coming on board. He's my college buddy from Detroit, Malcolm Holly. So I dropped it all in the chat, and Senabella can share that. So yeah, and community is important too. In terms of building a record label, Audible Edge does a couple of community events per year, and those have been great. Wow, I do look forward to you all signing up on our newsletter. The other things, yeah, I mentioned to Senabella, I've been going to the Cutting Edge Music Conference, and I will be performing with composer, record label owner, Jesse Alvarez, otherwise known as Jesse Campo. So we'll have a couple of performances together in New Orleans coming up. We're looking at new artists coming on this fall. So it's a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm trying to think. And I'm actually finishing my degree at Berklee College of Music. I racked up a whole bunch of credits over the time, music and business classes, and I decided, that my grandparents and parents didn't go through what they did in Jim Crow South for me not to finish my degree. So it's equally good for me, but just to honor my parents' life and grandparents' life.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for the wrap up and sharing with us who you are, what you are, where you're going, and what you got coming next. As always, I am just highly favored to have you here in our company today. Such a well-rounded individual, a wonderful brother, a great husband, I'm certain, because every time I go over there, the wife is wifing, and he's such a pleasant person to encounter. And it's really beautiful when you meet the others of the people that are out here providing such a vast landscape of things, and that's you, Rodney. Thank you so much for coming on to.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for inviting. Yes. With
me this morning. And my cats are trying to get into the picture. I'm going to let people see we're being haunted by my
photo bomb. Boom.
I had to do that because they're like, you didn't feed us before you got started.
Right.
Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for coming into Coffee Break Live. We're closing out. We are overtime, but we're not out of time. We are still moving forward, and it's been great to have you here with us today. Thank you so much, Rodney. And as we end this stream, I just want to say, take a time to have a break. It can be with anything. It doesn't have to be coffee. It doesn't have to be tea or water. You might just want to kick it up, throw your feet up on the sofa, and just take time for yourself. It's been wonderful having you here. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm Senabella, your host of Coffee Break Live. Thanks, Rodney. Take care.
You're welcome.
I want to wake up feeling beautiful. I want to wake up with the sunlight in my eyes and your arms surrounding me. I want to wake up feeling beautiful. That's how I want to be.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family